time for Nerdgasm.
Hey, what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacles, and I'm here at Rad Power Bikes in Seattle, Washington. They're the creator of a very, very unique electric pedal hybrid bike that has incredibly huge tires. And it's gonna help me mitigate some of the hilly terrain where I live and get me back on the bike again so I can hopefully lose some of this. So guys, sit tight and enjoy the ride. No pun intended. Maybe a little. All right, guys, well, right now I'm sitting with Mike here. He's one of 3 founders of Rad Power Bike and by far the coolest of the 3. And he's gonna walk me through my demo today and introduce me to the new bike. Let me just ask you first off, like, what got you into electric bikes?
I grew up in like a really rural town, and there was no bus service, and my car was always breaking down as a young kid. I couldn't afford to keep it running, so I just always kind of loved tinkering with stuff. So I built an electric bike at 15 and started driving that thing to high school. And it was a haphazard contraption because 10, 12 years ago, electric bike technology is nowhere near where it was today. So you were,
totally.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely awesome. And one of the reasons that we crossed paths was because I actually used to be an avid bike rider. I used to ride constantly. I even have a mountain bike. I have a very nice Santa Cruz Blur mountain bike that would be considered by many to be like a very nice mountain bike. We're not talking about something you just go and buy off the shelf. And I kind of wanted to get into something that would get me back into riding because I'm about 291 pounds right now, and you can imagine in hilly terrain of the Pacific Northwest that really doesn't fly. So now they presume to have a bike that they claim will even push me around at a decent speed and up hills, and I can still pedal it. So I feel like I'm kind of in control. So I think we're gonna bust this thing out to a whole new market here.
Yeah, it should be a fun day. So we'll take it around the Seattle neighborhood here and try to find as much terrain and hilly areas that we can.
All right, well, let's start with some of the passion here at Rad Power Bikes. Here we have Scott's bike. This is actually one of the tech support guys here, and this would kind of illustrate what would be nightmarishly, horribly illegal to sell to the public. And I'll go ahead and have you explain why, but then we'll kind of move on through a couple other iterations and show you guys like how this ultimately becomes something that's marketable and safe. But go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so this is Scott's bike. So, you know, everyone here, especially in the tech support side of the companies, came from like the e-bike DIY background, kind of like hacking stuff together. Because like we've said, like the last 10 years, there's really not been a good availability of parts. So on this machine, you have a very high power direct drive hub motor in the back wheel. And the wider a hub motor is, the more torque it produces. And you can see that motor is exceptionally wide, and it's very, very heavy. So it's able to handle the power output. You know, this is I think 15 to 20 kilowatt motor controller.
This looks like something you'd see on like a stereo system in a car.
That's right. Yeah. So that's a massive 400 amp fuse, and it's really a lot of the stuff on this bike's kind of oversized because again, there's not a lot of easy components. This bike's built with a lot of off-the-shelf stuff. You know, these are lithium polymer batteries from RC cars. I think it's 120 something volts. But yeah, so this bike does 70.8 miles per hour on the drag strip, and that's where these belong, is on the drag strip and off the streets, because they're insane but super, super fun. So if you'd like to hop on this later, you know, it is charging and ready.
I will consider taking my life into my own hands at the end of this video because you guys would probably love to see that. But as you guys can tell, this demonstrates kind of the passion for the project. But obviously, if you run this thing too hard, it's probably going to explode and, you know, blow certain bits of you off that you'd rather keep. So let's go ahead and kind of move up a little bit through the evolution to something maybe just a little safer. All right, guys, now let's show you something that's a little bit more practical. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that, but we don't see a bunch of Lexan and explosive looking things on here. So let's go ahead and explain this bike that started life as just a Kona.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a next generation, kind of still not necessarily prototype. This is just a shop bike for like our own personal use. But what you have here is we started getting into, you know, just about a decade ago, but testing a lot of the like lithium, nickel, cobalt, aluminum, and nickel, cobalt, manganese cells, which are more like traditionally in electric cars like the Teslas. Yep. So this rather than the lithium polymer like the bike we showed you last, this has regular cylindrical 18650 size lithium batteries in it. It's got regenerative braking and a display with speed, and it's got a switch that makes it street legal for 20 miles an hour and 750 watt operation. So this is more of a kind of moving and morphing more into like a comfortable, safe, operatable bike that uses more modern electronic components and especially batteries that are more scalable.
So here we we have something that's almost marketable. We're getting there. It still has a pretty gigantic, intimidating motor on the back of it, but you said it is limited to 20 miles an hour, which is the legal limit right now for an electric bike, right? Obviously, these could technically go faster than that, you know, but you know, you got to obey U.S. law and all that so that the feds don't come get you. So let's go ahead and show what the final product looks like today that you can actually buy. All right, so now we've come to the actual production bike that you can buy and the one that I'll actually be taking home today. And this is the RadRover. And as you can tell just looking at the bike immediately, there's some pretty big changes over the prototypes. One, they have the biggest tire I've ever seen on a bike in my entire life. I'm not even kidding. These things are like a tire that you would put on a dirt bike. It's insane. It's almost like intimidating a little bit to look at this. And you'll also notice that it has a motor that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more legal, if you will. Probably a hell of a lot more efficient. And this bike right here you can buy right now for $15.99, right? $14.99. Or $14.99. Oh my God, just keeps getting cheaper by the minute. But no, this bike right here was the one that got me interested, and the things that really drew me to it were the actual range and the fact that it has these massive tires on it. So I want you to kind of go through and tell everybody, like, how did you come to this as your final design? And this is one of two designs that they actually sell that are actually pretty radically different. So let's go ahead and explain the RadRover to everybody.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so the RadRover is really bringing everything together we loved about electric bikes and making something that's like more user-friendly that kind of works for everything. Because an electric bike's really supposed to be something you can exercise on, you can run to the grocery store on, you can do errands, more utilitarian. So this bike, the fat tires, they're really eye-catching and they draw a lot of attention, but it's really more about comfort. And when a bike's a little bit heavier, this is 60 pounds, so most electric bikes are 60 plus pounds. The big tires are really nice to dampen the ride and also just make you feel a little more comfortable at traveling at higher top speeds. But all the little refinements that went into the bike are a lot of like the creature comforts you'd expect from, you know, modern electronics. So there's a USB port underneath the display you can plug your cell phone onto to operate your cell phone GPS while you're going on a trip or, you know, whatever you need to go in. There's another USB port on the battery pack. The battery pack's removable lockable with a key, so you can take it into your office to charge it, bring it inside. Like you said, the hub motor's lighter, more compact, more energy efficient. It has a planetary gear reduction set inside of it. So basically everything you see here is like basically all these little refinements and tweaks make it feel a lot more modernized and a commercially viable product that's been really hitting things off. There's even a little bell built into the brake lever for safety purposes.
That's loud. Yeah. So this is absolutely awesome because the first thing I notice when I look at it is it doesn't look like it's something that's hobbled together. This looks pretty natural except for the giant tire. I'm pretty sure you guys get stopped all the time and people are like, just like me, wowed by it. Because this is, even though it's becoming more common, like you said, in like, downhill mountain biking and stuff like that, the big stuff, you just don't see this stuff in the city because I'd imagine that it would be difficult to pedal a long journey on such a heavy rotating mass. But when you bring the electric motor into it and the battery power, all it is just extra traction and fun all day long. So guys, this is going to be the one that we're going to be riding today. We might actually ride a couple of them, but this is the one I'm most interested in and suits my needs moving forward. But let's go ahead and show you the last bike that they produced, that if you're more of a city setting, I think that that's probably a better option if you're not Evel Knievel like me. All right, so here is the final production bike that they create, and this is called the RadWagon. And what makes it radically different, as you can already tell, is it's a pretty long bike. It's got a lot of cargo space here on the back. It's got regenerative braking, so you can actually, if you're going up and down hills and stuff, that's going to improve your range overall on this bike. Tell us a little bit more about like what got into your guys' head when you decided to build this thing, because I haven't seen anything like this before.
Yeah. So the RadWagon's really like a kind of a combination of all the things we love about like urban lifestyle and living and car-free living. So this is basically, it's an urban utility bike. So it's capable of kind of transforming to do almost any task you can think about doing, even like grocery store runs and even lumber store runs if needed. So like we have this flatbed in the back. We do our UPS runs on here, put a big stack of boxes. This is set up in the family orientation here. So you have a secondary passenger seat and a handlebar set, and then a mount for a child seat, so you can actually have a couple little kids back here and an older one in the front and a smaller one in the back. So really when you think about it, this is the SUV killer. It's it eliminates a lot of those trips where you have to take your car and able to get you on the bike.
No, this is absolutely awesome. Seeing it in person again, it's like this has a little bit more of a conventional sized tire, but still a pretty decent sized tire on it. And just the fact that you could literally get two more human beings on the back of it, or like you said, haul lumber. I mean, I think this would have a huge market in India. Have you ever seen them over there? Like they're driving around with lumber, on their backs, on their heads, everything like this. This is pretty amazing. And does this have similar specs as far as the motor power and everything as the other bike?
Yeah. So this is 750 watts and the same battery pack, but it also has regenerative braking, which is really nice because all the stop and go in the city.
Right. What's the price point on this one?
This is $15.99, the RadWagons. Awesome. And they come fully equipped with fenders and all that kind of creature comforts.
So this guy right here, basically $100 more, you get regenerative braking, and you get something that's probably more suited to a job. You would use this as your daily transportation. Not that you couldn't use the other bike as your daily transportation. It's just this is more utilitarian, the other one's more Evel Knievel. All right, let's break some stuff. You okay with that?
I'm very okay with that.
All right, let's do it. All right guys, so I'm out for my first ride on my Rad power bike here, and I have to say the experience is quite different than I was expecting. 20 miles an hour is pretty fast, and even with 291 pounds of Jerry on this bike, it cruises along very, very nicely. And the big tires on it make it turn. You can just turn with your weight. The thing just turns on a dime, which is something that I didn't expect, but the big tires make you feel really, really stable. I haven't been on a bike for like 6 months, and I feel like I'm really firmly planted. And we were hoofing it at the full 20 almost all the way down here to this park. As far as the features, it gives you a battery readout on the display. It tells you how fast you're going. I feel like the bike could go a lot faster than it actually is. So I'm definitely getting that feeling that they speed limited the bike for, legal reasons.
I'm sure you can't hack that or anything.
Now it has different modes. You can set it up so when you start pedaling, it automatically kicks in the electric motor to assist you to basically make you feel like Lance Armstrong. And it's kind of a weird feeling because when you start pedaling at first, it doesn't do anything, and then it kicks in momentarily later, and you feel like you're a lot stronger than you should be. And that's something that I think is really cool because you still get the experience of actually pedaling the bike. So right now, I'm completely under my own power pedaling the bike. There's no motor assist, and not gonna lie, it's a beefy bike. You gotta pedal it pretty good, but it goes better than I thought it would for having 4-inch wide tires on it. But I'm gonna kick in the electric assist. Now I'm in Lance Armstrong mode. That's awesome. I almost like that better than the throttle. You have a twist throttle that you can use like a dirt bike. Or you can just pedal and it kicks in and assists you. It almost feels like you're going down a really steep hill, is what it really feels like. Here we go, big jump. Woo! I love how this thing eats up a speed bump. So like, watch, I'm gonna ride over the speed bump, just sitting on my ass. No problem. 291 pounds, beefcake. This is awesome. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I'm pedaling a bike with 4-inch tires at 20 miles an hour. This is way better than I thought it'd be. I'll be honest, I think this might actually change my life. I genuinely think that this bike actually is gonna enable me to do something I haven't been able to do in a long, long time. Seagulls! 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 Come here. All right, so now I'm pedaling up a hill here. Pretty decent one. That is cool. This is the way I ride my bike, ride my bike, ride my bike. Oh, I just had water splash in my butt crack. This is cool, I'm pedaling up a hill in high gear. This bike makes you feel really strong. You should have called it the Incredible Hulk. You do have to work up a hill a little bit, but I am 291 pounds. Woo! I couldn't ride up that hill. Feels really stable at speed though, even over rough stuff. So it's super fast on flat ground. With 291 pounds, I'm able to actually pedal up a hill. You do have to pedal though. I don't think the motor would carry me on its own, at least not very fast. But it does take a lot away. Pedaling up a hill feels comparable, like a steep hill, feels comparable to pedaling up a very, very slight incline. This battery only had a slight charge on it when we started, and even after all this riding, it's still got power in it. It's awesome. All right, we're definitely taxing the 1 horsepower here with what, 500 pounds?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think 500 pounds is probably approaching the limit. But look, I'm still not pedaling. Whee! Fat guys on a bike, whee! So if you're 500 pounds, this technically will work. Okay, here we go, corner, lean, 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 Greg, for the life. Hey, I haven't even had to pedal once. This is fun. All right, here we go, lean. All right, here we go. We're going for a speed run. Here we go.
Get this thing to 20.
Opening the taps. Opening the taps. Come on, baby.
Come on.
Okay, we're still accelerating. All right, we're stabilizing. Here, let's give it some pedal power.
Pedal.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're booking. Yeah.
Hey, dude, you can totally like.
You can totally tandem ride this. I like how you stop pedaling, just keeps going the same speed. This is awesome. Everybody needs one of these. This is so cool. Now we're gonna test the brakes. Are they rated for 500 pounds of stopping? Yep. The slower you go, the more unstable it is though. Well, I'm 291 and Greg's 250 something, so I think that's a lot of weight for this poor little thing. That's a lot of weight, but you know, hey, we had to test it and it works. Yeah! Woo-hoo! Yeah! Yeah, put it down. Put it down. That's how we do. That's awesome, dude. That looks dangerous. Oh, and I got that on camera. That's why they don't sell that. Whee! Oh yeah, I'm gonna ride up on the curb here. Well, that was uneventful. Going in the sand. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! This feels weird. There we go, I'm getting my pace here. Yeah. Well, this is going in the sand. Yeah. Whoa. Bikers down. Do not ride the tandem bike in the sand. You will fall over and you will injure yourself. You need fat tires in the sand. No, dude, this is awesome. You definitely can't go that fast in the sand when you weigh 291 pounds, but with the big tires, it's possible, and it feels like you're pedaling on concrete. That's what it feels like. So it's like you still have to work for it a little bit. Well, actually, not really. It still goes in the sand. Dude, this thing's amazing, although it needs a bath horribly. Hey, can I just hose this thing off? Is this all hosable? Awesome, I just got the thumbs up.
This thing is totally hosable.
Dude, it's pretty impressive this thing can move me in sand at 291 pounds. I honestly thought this was gonna be more of like an assist thing than like dirt bike. So guys, I've really enjoyed riding this bike. This has been a really interesting experience down here in Seattle at the waterfront. I have to say, the things that surprised me, the top speed is pretty impressive on flat ground. Things I did notice though is going up a hill as heavy as I am, almost 300 pounds, you do still have to pedal. The motor alone isn't enough to take, and I'm talking a really steep hill. A mild hill, no problem. Steep hill, you still need to pedal a little bit, but it definitely makes it possible. So I'm still gonna use this to go up steep hills because it's within my grasp now. The battery seems to just keep on going. I haven't killed a battery in it yet. And I've ridden it through everything, grass, mud, sand. Nothing seems to stop it. And if you're on flat ground, I mean, this is a real commuting option. I mean, 20 miles an hour, you're gonna get where you need to go fast. I am gonna tell you though, people are gonna look at you weird and they're gonna stop you and ask you about your bike that has 4-inch wide tires on it. Because it is a little weird, but it's cool. But I'll tell you what, it's super stable. In the sand feels no different, honestly, than riding on like hard packed dirt. And if you've ever tried to ride a bike in the sand before, it's like nearly impossible. I'll tell you what though, this thing goes off jumps really, really nicely, on and off curbs. Like here, I'll just ride off this curb right now. It's very nice. I like that when you're jumping the front tire too, you can keep power to the back wheel because you normally can't pedal when you're doing that. Greg just had somebody on a motorcycle stop him and ask him about his bike. When a guy riding a motorcycle is interested in your pedal bike, you got something special. I'm invincible! Yeah, you feel really strangely confident on this. I don't even know why you guys bothered installing pedals. Yeah, baby. Yeah. This video is being recorded by Mike sitting backwards on an electric bike in front of you being ridden by somebody else. So he's a little nervous. Plus he's had 2 crashes today. Both of them his fault. I don't think it was her fault. I think you got speed wobble, took her down in the sand, dude. How's it going, Greg?
Good.
Are you having fun riding your little power motorcycle?
I think we're just gonna take it into work.
You gonna just take it into work? It's so stable. That's the thing, is that those big tires make you feel invincible. I should probably pedal so I look like I'm actually working, right? Right behind you, Greg. So much fun. This is so much fun. Greg, this is the coolest thing ever. Look, I'm going up a steep hill right now. This is just on power, guys. This is actually a pretty steep hill. Lance Armstrong mode. This is fun. This is legit. I'd do this every day. You know what's funny? I broke more of a sweat shooting the video earlier in the room than I did riding this thing today. Because I pedaled for about 10 minutes. Once you have the electric motor, you almost don't want to pedal. You're just like, I only pedal just to feel powerful for a minute. And with the electric motor, you almost don't ever have to shift. You just get up to speed and then maintain it. This is cool. Guys, this is a really cool experience. You guys have to try this out. If you're in the Seattle area, go check them out. Check them out online. I have the link down in the video description. These guys, this is epic. Like, why don't more people have these? Like, this could replace your car. It's weird being able to ride on the road with traffic. A big guy like me never takes his bike on the road. Today, I actually got the confidence to do it. That's pretty cool. We're back, we made it, we're alive. That was quite a long ride and I still have battery left. This is epic.
Yeah, dude, mine's still full.
Hey, look at this, here, get this on camera.
It's still full.
Greg's been riding this the whole time, all the way down there, what, like mile and a half to the park, riding around the park, dirt, sand, everything. And you haven't even gone down. No. That's why I call you Skins, because you're skinnier than me. Well guys, I just finished my rather lengthy ride on my Rad Power bike, and I have to say it was actually a really amazing experience. A lot of things that I didn't expect happened when we were out there, and we took it through everything you could imagine. Took it through sand, took it through mud unintentionally. It's kind of how I got all filthy dirty here. But it performed absolutely amazing. Now, as far as the pros of the bike, the power seems to last forever. Like we didn't kill a battery, and Greg's bike didn't even drop a single bar on the battery meter, and mine went down by 1. My battery wasn't even halfway charged when we left here. And so I'm really impressed with that. The top speed on the thing at 20 miles an hour is actually almost intimidating a little bit at first, but you get really used to it. And also, this thing made me feel super comfortable. As you guys saw, I was bouncing around the front wheel, I was jumping off curbs. I haven't been on a home on this thing, so this is gonna be a huge life-changing experience for me in my day-to-day. Now, some of the things that I wanna talk about with the bike are, don't expect this to be a miracle going up a really, really steep hill. You have to realize it's only producing about 1 horsepower, which is actually a lot when you think about an electric motor. But going up a very steep hill, you still are gonna have to use some kind of pedal assist, especially if you're somebody as heavy as I am, almost 300 pounds. pounds. But we did go up some fairly steep hills where the electric motor was able to hold my speed all the way to the top, no problem. So I'm talking really steep hills here, guys, not like little grades. Going uphill and downhill, this thing just drives around like a moped. It's absolutely an awesome experience. So guys, please check out Rad Power Bikes. I have links down in the video description, including an affiliate link that you can use to purchase the bike to show support for the channel. Now, I'm gonna be taking this thing, throwing it in the back of my truck, taking it home, and we're gonna attempt to ride this to the gym every day, 5 times a week. That's my goal. So guys, hold me to it. Check out my Instagram. I'm at Barnacles over there. I also have a link to all my social media down in the video description. If you guys have questions about the bike, by all means, send your questions to me, or you can send them over to Rad Power Bikes. I'll have all of their social networking information also in the video description. And of course, if you're in Seattle, stop by their storefront. Absolutely amazing. Even the riding around here, the trails and everything, it's an epic experience. You probably will leave here with a bike though. I'm just saying. If you come in here, you're probably gonna spend the money. All right guys, take it easy, and until next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also come over to Twitter. I'm at Barnacles. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.